Welcome to Keeper of Secrets Tarot. I am Gypsy Girl, here to bring you another reading for Leo. I thank you, Spirit, for protecting and keeping the collective safe, for protecting me, keeping me safe. Leo, I thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Most of all, for showing up. Leo. I pushed down all the cards. Let's see. When I break the deck open, we have the Four of Swords and the Five of Swords. So we have the Nine of Swords. So it's either you're worrying about something or you're overcoming the worries because it's a broken nine. We have the Ten of Wands. So going from 9 to 10, and then we're starting with the Ace of Wands. So you're going in from mental to physical action. You're taking on action. So you're probably overcoming something that was difficult because it was the 4 and the 5 of Swords. Someone has probably taken advantage of you and you're overcoming that. I mean, this is the time, this month of June, coming into the end of June. I'm calling this reading the end of June. It's with the new moon starting up. So that cycle is playing itself out where you had issues of mental blockages, or you were worrying, or you had anxiety, or you were dealing with people who were either telling lies to you, or they were trying to take advantage of you, trying to manipulate you. You're overcoming that because you're starting over, you're starting a new cycle, and you have the Ten of Wands to show that with the Ace of Wands right in tow, and that is with the Six of Cups. So you're having fun now. At least something good is coming from all of that anxiety that you may have been experiencing, with the High Priestess saying that you are opening yourself up to the universe and what it has to offer. Here we see the Six of Wands with the Five of Wands. Now we're going into the Wands. So you're taking action, moving forward, and you're really putting an effort in because you want to be recognized and you want to have that final word. You want to see a change coming, and you're making change come because you're overcoming whatever it was that was devastating you. Well, that was devastating to you. Leo, I have some more cards here. See, we have our Queen of Cups with our Queen of Pentacles with the Hangman. So you're really putting effort, again, it's that effort into really being discerning and taking care of the self and holding back from dealing with people who are trying to take advantage of you. You've come a long way. You're standing up for yourself, and you're finding happiness on your own. You're moving away from can't say the word, frivolousness. You're being more discerning, and you're being more careful with who you deal with and what you say to them. Queen of Pentacles says that you're being practical now, and we see the Five of Wands showing up again. So you're really being careful with who you deal with. Here we have the King of Pentacles with the Queen of Cups. So you're taking charge. You're really taking charge. Again, High Priestess showing herself. So being more discerning and opening yourself up. Leo, you're moving forward. You're really putting effort into taking care of you now. I'm using the Stained Glass Tarot from James Howard, and the spread I'm using is the same from last month, or last couple of months. It's the Celtic Cross, and the Oracle cards, or the Oracle deck that I'm using, is the Herbal Astrology from Adriana Yalis, and we're looking at the healing offered in that through physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. And we have a jumper. See, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. Again, I keep saying you're working hard, putting in effort. And here we have the working hard and King of Swords with the Justice card. So effort that you've put in, and could be from the past, could be for what you're doing now, because we're coming toward the end of the month of June. So it's just to say that you're starting a new cycle with going into details, wanting the details, paying attention to the details, starting something new and really putting effort into it. It's not that it's so backbreaking, but it's like backbreaking work where you're putting that effort in, and you High Priestess is showing herself again. So it's showing that you want to be more, you want to open up, you want to exercise more your strengths, and that is in what you offer as work or your hobbies or projects. You're putting the effort into the details, and that's good. All right, so we'll cut. It's a lot of effort on your part, Leo. That's good to see. So I take the cards at random for the Celtic Cross, and we're starting off with the Three of Swords. So here's where you're overcoming some difficulties. Again, seeing those swords that we had before. I think it was 8 swords, 9 swords. Yeah, the anxiety, the worry, and it was a 4. It was a 4 and the 4 and the 5. So here we come into the 3. So really going into the detail of it, the juice of whatever it is that you had bring you to the brink of anxiety, depression. You were worried, you were literally pulling your hair out, not sleeping at night. Well, now you're overcoming that with our 7 of Swords. So you're really moving on to taking care of yourself. This is putting a point on it without bringing in the pun here, because you're only seeing swords. So very mental, a lot of mental thinking. You're really working hard in the mind on what you want, where you want to go, how you want to get there, the details. You have a plan set up. Here we're looking at the 6 of Cups. So for memory's sake, you're going back to what you know. You want to go back to what you know. It may be starting from basics, maybe starting from scratch. In other words, feeling like you have to begin from where you left off, where your happiness counts, what used to make you happy. You're thinking about what made you happy. You want to go back there. Then we have the King of Pentacles. So you're really taking charge. You really want to be in control. You're not letting other people step on you, because you've been down that road. You've been through the disappointment. You've been through the depression. You're feeling like you have been lied to, that you have to now make a new plan, or you're feeling like you have to be the one to tell lies, or that you will need to lie in order to get through. But that's not for everybody. It's more about taking control and taking what you can get, taking what you need, and that means taking care of yourself, because this is a 10, putting an end to something. Could be that you're dealing with someone who is childish, and you want to put an end to that situation, and you want to take responsibility for your efforts. Maybe you were the one who was being childish. Maybe you're thinking about how you handled a certain situation that was not very mature, and now you've come to realize the maturity that is required of you. That's not for everybody. Just take it as it resonates, because this is a 10. Whatever it was, the disappointment, the lies, the deceit, all of that, it's come to an end. You're facing up to it. You're taking responsibility if it is you. Or you're taking on a position of, I'm not allowing this to happen to me again. You want your happiness. You're focused on that. You're thinking about, I need to find what makes me happy. I need to reconnect with what I know is my happiness. Because of what you've been through, because of all the disappointments. The 2 of Wands. So we're going from the Wands to the Swords. more or less. And then we had a lot of pentacles showing up too. So dealing with action, dealing with taking on action, really putting the steps forward and making the effort, again with the Eight of Pentacles that we saw earlier. You're changing plans. You already changed the plans because this is recently. Could be weeks ago, days ago, months ago, depending on your situation. But you've made a change in the plan. Could be because of this appointment that you decided to do something different, or could be that you recognize or you figured out something and you put it to an end, because we saw the 10 earlier, the 10 of Wands. Here we have our Queen of Wands, so it makes a 3. So you've learned from the experience, and again that maturity is stepping up, and you're saying to yourself, now I need to do something about what is to change. You've made a new plan. It shows here that the plan that you've made, or the changes that you've made, you're going with them. The time is in August, Leo. She represents Leo. So you may see the change, or you may see progress in August. You know, I just want to see how these cards are showing. Just bring him over a little more here. Okay. Here we have the Six of Swords. So you're coming to a mental peace. You're getting that mental state. Your mind is at ease now, because you've come to terms with. You've let go of. You've made a decision. You've changed plans. And now you're feeling a little better. You're thinking. Your mind is clearer. You're being focused, or you're making the focus, or you're setting your mind at ease by focusing on what you really want and what makes you feel good. And here is where you're taking charge. It's coming up, but here is where you are now, feeling that sense of ease in the mind. You're not worrying anymore. And the Ace of Wands, someone wants to start something with you. Someone wants to reach out to you. Someone wants to talk to you, Leo, or have a conversation, or start a new project, depending. That someone is probably someone that you've been working with. Maybe could be the masculine in this layout here. If this is not you, this could be them. Could be the person that you had dealings with. They want to come back now and talk to you. The Knight of Swords. Aggressive conversation. Really putting an effort out there to say what's on their mind. And that is the desire. Maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want someone to come and talk to you. We had the Four of Swords at the beginning, with the Five of Swords, where it was deceit, lies, and dishonesty. Here we have the truth and the desire to speak it. Fear is in that it will be arguments and fighting. Could be on a level of passion. Very passionate, especially with our Queen here and this Ace. Again, Two of Wands coming into the Four of Wands. So it could be that someone wants to take a relationship to a higher level and they're not stopping. They're very determined. Here's the Forgiveness. I was wondering if this card was going to show up. So it's a question of being determined to speak to you, or you to someone, to start over and have that serious conversation, be honest, and to bring in that forgiveness, and to start a new relationship, or to start over with someone. You want to begin anew. Here we have our Queen of Swords. So waiting patiently so that the truth will come, or serving justice. Six of Wands. Again, that victory is yours to be had. Five of Swords. Actually, it's the Eight of Swords. Someone's not letting go. Again, there's that determination. and the Chariot, for the changes that were made, for having a home, having a new beginning, feeling welcome, feeling at home. Again, with the moon, we could come into the full moon and then the sun. So we're looking at the eclipse here. And the Four of Cups, healing that lethargy with the Four of Pentacles, so double fours. Moving into the Nine of Pentacles. So it's changes that are being pursued, and really put an effort, holding on, not letting go, wanting to be recognized, and being patient and stepping forward with that recognition. Being honest, more first and foremost. Being honest and being passionate about what you really want, and not letting go, but changing direction. Again, plans have already been made to change. Ace of Pentacles, saying that you're going to be very generous, or someone is being very generous, wanting to make that offer, coming into that conversation of having that sense of being determined to speak and make an offer, being determined to speak and have that passion, that passionate beginning, wanting to be in a passionate relationship and not letting it go. Looking at fruition, full moon's coming in or around on about the 11th, and then we have the sun for the truth, and then this is showing as an eclipse. Eclipse season is starting in September, I think. It's either September or October. Around there, you'll see the change. And then, of course, that lethargy will heal if it is that you were in a depressed state. And opening up instead of being closed off and going alone. Healing that relationship with the Hermit. I will stop there because it's going in a little deep. But it's really having to clear the air and set things in motion, or to set things right with that. I'm sorry, I was saying it's the Page of Cups, but it's the King of Cups. So my apologies. He looked like a little boy. But that's it. He looked like a little boy. Could be that childish behavior that you were experiencing is coming around, or it could be just someone very determined, very devoted, or very selfish, depending on your situation. Someone may want to have put an end and have the divorce go through, but they're being patient. They're waiting to see the reaction, because this is aggressive. But it can be aggressive as much as it is passionate. It could be that they want to speak the truth, how deeply in love they are, or how terribly selfish they will be. I mean, it goes from one extreme to the next, and it really depends on your situation. But your mind is at ease because you're waiting. You're waiting, and you know where you stand. You've already made up your mind about certain things. You're being patient again here. You're just taking your independence. For those of you who are aiming for a divorce, you're going to go for it. You're going to follow through. Again, changing of the mind, changing plans. Selfishness for some. Others are being honest and true to their devotion. Wanting to share that, wanting to open up. Someone wants to start something new. They're very devoted. Others are just looking for the sex, and they want to be passionate, and they just want to have that sense of, I got you, I have you, you're mine. Leo, you are the one that will decide if you want to go with or you want to get away from. But your mind is at ease here. You're stubborn, or they are stubborn. Someone is being very stubborn. They're not letting go of an idea. They want things to change, but at the same time, could be an ego for some. Ending up with the King of Cups is saying that I make up my own mind, I decide. You are determined to hold your ground, but still fair-minded, where you're allowing the other person time. You're allowing the other person to speak. You're allowing the other person to be stubborn. And then you'll just decide to go whichever way you want to go. Come full moon, you will already know. Things will come into fruition. And then, of course, the truth will be revealed about healing and opening up, or not healing, or being totally closed off and locked up, or locking themselves away. I mean, you're going to get certain truths. Again, coming back here to this 10, it's a broken 10, but it's a difficult task. It's a lot of work. It's hard work, like I said, back-breaking work. But that will bring in the satisfaction of knowing the truth. Knowing the truth. It's like the eclipse happening, coming on in September and October. You will know the truth. You will have the answer because you're patient. Because you're allowing, you're giving that space. You're holding your ground too. And come August, you will have that sense of independence. And things are going to heal, either between you and the next person, or just you. You are going to start thinking of yourself more. If it is that you're struggling, you may end up going off on your own to see your future change. You may end up just saying, you know what, I'm leaving. I've decided. I've given you enough time. I've given you enough chances. You're showing up as selfish, and you're not giving as much as you're taking, and I don't want. And that's for some. And others of you, it's I want to be in this relationship. I want to be with you because you give me that devotion. It's really one or the other here. But Leo, you know what you want. You're standing your ground. What is the oracle message for Leo for July, end of July? Let's see. Rosemary. Look at that. See, she represents our Queen of Wands here. That ability to have that conversation, that wanting to speak, clearing the air. You're ready, you're waiting. You have an easy mind. You're just allowing the space and time. If they're going to trip themselves up, well, they will do it. The 3, it's all about communication. But you will have the conversation. Let's see. It's ancient memory. Remembrance, ancient memory, multi-dimension sight, recollection, commitment, loyalty to a vision. See, that's where you want to be. Huh? You're opening yourself up. You know what you want. You remember how it was. You want to go back to what makes you happy. You want to start with a new beginning on freedom and being able to decide for yourself and being responsible for you, not having other people tell you where to go, what to do. It's used, rosemary has been used medicinally dating back into the ancient Greeks and Romans in 500 BC. Dried sprigs of rosemary even showed up in Egyptian tombs as early as 3000 BC. You see how far back this goes? Ancient memory. So you could be connected to someone for many, many lifetimes and you're still stuck with them, or you're trying to let go, or you're trying to connect. Either way. It became the symbol for fidelity for new lovers during wedding ceremonies and was used in religious rites and at funerals. During weddings, it was entwined in the wreath worn by the bride and dipped in scented water to bless the union as a symbol of the sacred moment and eternal loyalty. There it is. The lies and the deceit that you had, the disappointment, all of that, you're probably going to have conversation about that. Oh, someone wants to talk because they want to talk. Even today, rosemary is used to improve memory. Legend has it that the Virgin Mary, Mother of Jesus, as she fled from Egypt, sheltered next to a rosemary bush. She threw her cape onto the bush and the white flowers turned blue. Since then, this precious herb has been called the Rose of Mary. Oh, that I did not know. Rosemary. Interesting. Never even questioned it. But that's Leo. You always end up teaching somebody something new, including myself. Someone wants to talk to you. You are being open. You are actually being the giving, receiving. And there is a devotion, a sense of devotion for some, and there is grave selfishness for others. And again, not everybody's on the same timeline. So it really depends on when you view this. But here's the guidance. Ruled by both Mercury, the planet of the mind, and the Sun, the planet representative of our base ego and superego, rosemary embodies this holy connection, the mind of the ego to the superego, the higher mind. This card signifies past feelings and emotions are resurfacing from deep within. So again, you're thinking about all the swords that we had. We were thinking. Things about the past coming up, wanting to really take a look at them. This card signifies past feelings and emotions are resurfacing from deep within. You may find yourself remembering and accessing ancestral memory that resides within your DNA, so going even further back for some. Rosemary assists us in healing through multidimensional sight, reminding us to use the power of vision to see beyond the constructs of everyday life. Don't disassociate or get consumed by the veil that broadcasts emotional imbalance. Call upon rosemary as a guiding light to see beyond the veil of confusion and stay committed to the vision that moves you. So focus on what you love. Focus on what makes you happy. Again, take time for yourself. Move away from those who are trying to take advantage of you or who have taken advantage of you, unless they come back to give you that apology, because I saw this as the page at the beginning, thinking that there was going to be an apology. Someone is either very devoted or very selfish. You are, on the other hand, able to discern that. You're able to say, no, I'm not dealing with you, and here are the reasons why. The disappointment that you're feeling, this is where the rosemary comes in. You may want to put your hands on some rosemary and just take in the scent of it, or create a tea, or include it in your meal somewhere. It's good for you. It'll help you balance or come into balance. On that note, Leo, until our next read, love and light.